verse 41 of Surah Al-Ankabut. The example of those who take allies other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is like that of the spider who takes a home. And indeed, the weakest of home is the home of the spider, if they only knew. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, anyone who is worshipped besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, anyone who is relied upon besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then the example of this person, the person who is doing shirk, is like a person who is falling and he is trying to hold onto a spider's web for support. Can he get any support? No way. This is total loss. Now we start Surah Ar-Rum. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربي زدني علما اللهم فقهنا في الدين ألف لام ميم غلبت الروم في أدنى الأرض وهم من بعد غلبهم سيغلبون في بضع سنين. In these initial verses of Surah Ar-Rum, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala predicts that the Romans will get victory. Actually, the Romans were the Christians and the sympathies of the Muslims were with them. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that soon you will be victorious. And the Persians were mushrik, and of course the sympathies of the mushrikeen were with the Persians. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in these verses the word fi bid'i sinin, within 3 to 9 years, meaning within just a few years the Romans who have been defeated right now, within 3 to 9 years they will defeat their enemy. Right now they suffer defeat, soon their defeat will turn into victory. Now we learn that in the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is still before the Hijrah, because Surah Rum is a Makki surah. When the Romans were defeated, the Muslims became sad because the Romans were closer in faith to the Muslims. So these verses were revealed that do not be sad. These wins and losses happen in life, and it is just a matter of time. When things will change, when the circumstances will change, within a few years, this loss will turn into victory again. And to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala belongs the command before and after. Meaning when the Persians won, then this happened with Allah's permission. And when they will be defeated very soon again, this will happen with Allah's permission. And when this happened with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So over here a prediction is being made that very soon, within 3 to 9 years, what will happen? The Romans will be victorious against their enemy. And on that same day, the Muslims will also be happy because they will be given victory by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also. And when is it that all this happened? In the battle of Badr. That when the Romans finally defeated their enemy, the Persians, that is the time when the Muslims also defeated the mushrikeen in the battle of Badr, which was the first battle. Right now, when these verses were revealed, there was no scene of the Muslims defeating the mushrikeen. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving them good news, that stay hopeful. Now we'll see the translation of these verses. Alif Lam Mim. The Romans have been defeated in a nearby territory, but following their defeat, they will be victorious. In a few years, the matter is up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the past and in the future. On that day, the believers will rejoice in Allah's support. He supports whomever He wills. He is the Almighty, the Merciful. The promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never breaks His promise, but most people do not know. They know an outer aspect of the worldly life, but they are heedless of the hereafter. Do they not reflect within themselves? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create the heavens and the earth and what is between them except with reason and for a specific duration. But most people regarding meeting their Lord are disbelievers. Have they not traveled the earth and seen how those before them ended up? They were more powerful than them, and they cultivated the land and developed it more than they developed it. And their messengers came to them with clear signs. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never wrong them, but they used to wrong themselves. Then evil was the end of those who committed evil. That is because they rejected Allah's revelations and used to ridicule them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala originates creation and then repeats it. Then to Him you will be returned. On the day when the hour takes place, the guilty will despair. They will have no intercessors from among their idols, and they will disown their partners. On the day when the hour takes place, on that day they will separate. As for those who believed and did good deeds, they will be delighted in the meadows. But as for those who disbelieved and rejected our signs and the encounter of the hereafter, those will be hauled into the torment. So glorify Allah when you retire at night and when you rise in the morning. His is the praise in the heavens and on earth, and in the evening and when you reach midday. He brings the living out of the dead, and He brings the dead out of the living, and He revives the land after it had died. Likewise, you will be resurrected. And of His science is that He created you from dust, and behold, you become humans spreading out. And of His science is that He created for you mates from among yourselves, so that you may find tranquility in them. And He planted love and compassion between you. In this are signs for people who reflect. And of His science is the creation of the heavens and the earth, and the diversity of your languages and colors. In this are signs for those who know. And of His signs are your sleep by night and day, and your pursuit of His bounty. In this are signs for people who listen. And of His signs is that He shows you the lightning, causing fear and hope. And He brings down water from the sky, and with it He revives the earth after it was dead. In this are signs for people who understand. And of His signs is that the heaven and the earth stand at His disposal. And then, when He calls you out of the earth, you will emerge at once. To Him belongs everyone in the heavens and the earth. All are submissive to Him. It is He who initiates creation and then repeats it, something easy for Him. His is the highest attribute in the heavens and the earth. He is the Almighty, the Wise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala illustrates an example for you from your own selves. Do you make your servants full partners in the wealth we have given you? Do you revere them as you revere one another? We thus explain the revelations for a people who understand. Yet the wrongdoers follow their desires without knowledge. But who can guide whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala leaves astray? They will have no helpers. So devote yourself to the religion of monotheism, the natural instinct Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has instilled in mankind. There is no altering Allah's creation. This is the true religion, but most people do not know. Turning towards Him, and be conscious of Him, and perform the prayer, and do not be of the idolaters, of those who divided their religion and became sects, each faction pleased with what they have. When affliction touches the people, they call on their Lord, turning to Him in repentance. But then, when He gives them a taste of His mercy, some of them attribute partners to their Lord, to show ingratitude for what we have given them. Indulge yourselves, you will surely know. Have we sent down to them any authority which speaks in support of their idols? When we give people a taste of mercy, they rejoice in it. But when adversity befalls them because of what their hands have perpetrated, they begin to despair. Do they not see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expands the provision for whomever He wills or restricts it? Surely, in this are signs for people who believe. So give the relative his rights, and the destitute, and the wayfarer. That is best for those who seek Allah's presence. Those are the prosperous. The usury you practice, seeking thereby to multiply people's wealth, will not multiply with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But what you give in charity, desiring Allah's approval, these are the multipliers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is He who created you, then provides for you, then makes you die, then brings you back to life. Can any of your idols do any of that? Glorified is He, and exalted above what they associate. Corruption has appeared on land and sea because of what people's hands have earned, in order to make them taste some of what they have done, so that they might return. Say, roam the earth, and observe the fate of those who came before. Most of them were idolaters. So devote yourself to the upright religion before there comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala a day that cannot be averted. On that day they will be shocked. Whoever disbelieves, upon him falls his disbelief, and whoever acts righteously, they are preparing for themselves, so that he may reward those who have believed and done the righteous deeds out of his bounty. Indeed, he does not love the ungrateful. And of his signs is that he sends the winds bearing good news, to give you a taste of his mercy, and so that the ships may sail by his command, and so that you may seek of his bounty, and so that you may give thanks. Before you we sent messengers to their people. They came to them with clear proofs. Then we took revenge on those who sinned. It is incumbent on us to help the believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is He who sends the winds. They stir up clouds. Then He spreads them in the sky as He wills, and He breaks them apart. Then you see raindrops issuing from their midst. Then when He makes it fall upon whom He wills of His servants, behold, they rejoice. Although they were before it was sent down upon them in despair. So observe the effects of Allah's mercy, how He revives the earth after it was dead. Indeed, He is the reviver of the dead. He is capable of everything. But if we send a wind and they see it turning things yellow, they would continue thereafter to disbelieve. You cannot make the dead hear, nor can you make the deaf hear the call when they turn away. Nor can you guide the blind out of their error. You can make hear only those who believe in our signs, and so have submitted. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is He who created you weak, then after weakness gave you strength, then after strength gave you weakness and grey hair. He creates whatever He wills. He is the omniscient, the omnipotent. On the day when the hour takes place, the sinners will swear they had stayed but an hour. Thus they were deluded. But those endowed with knowledge and faith will say, you remained in Allah's book until the day of resurrection. This is the day of resurrection, but you did not know. On that day, the sinners' excuses will not benefit them, nor will they be excused. We have cited in this Quran for the people every sort of parable. But even if you bring them a miracle, those who disbelieve will say, you are nothing but fakers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thus seals the hearts of those who do not know. So be patient. The promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is true, and do not let those who lack certainty belittle you. Surah Luqman. Alif Lam Mim. Tilka ayatul kitabil hakim. Hudan wa rahmatan lil muhsinin. الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم بالآخرة هم يوقنون أولئك على هدى من ربهم وأولئك هم المفلحون. Alif Lam Mim. These are the verses of the wise book, a guide and a mercy for the righteous, those who observe the prayer and pay the obligatory charity, and are certain of the hereafter. These are upon guidance from their Lord. These are the successful. Among the people is he who trades in distracting tales, intending without knowledge to lead away from Allah's way and to make a mockery of it. These will have a humiliating punishment. And when our verses are recited to them, he turns away in pride, as though he did not hear them, as though there is deafness in their ears. So inform him of a painful punishment. And for those who believe and do good deeds, for them are the gardens of bliss, dwelling therein forever. The promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is true. He is the mighty, the wise. He created the heavens without pillars that you can see, and placed stabilizers on earth lest it shifts with you, and scattered throughout it all kinds of creatures. And from the sky was sent down water, and caused to grow therein of every noble pair. Such is Allah's creation. Now show me what those besides Him have created. In fact, the wicked are in obvious error. We endowed Luqman with wisdom. Give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whoever is appreciative for the benefit of his own soul. And whoever is unappreciative, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sufficient and praiseworthy. When Luqman said to his son, as he advised him, O my son, do not associate anything with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for idolatry is a terrible wrong. We have entrusted the human being with the care of his parents. His mother carried him through hardship upon hardship, weaning him in 2 years. So give thanks to me and to your parents. To me is the destination. But if they strive to have you associate with me something of which you have no knowledge, do not obey them, but keep them company in this life in kindness, and follow the path of him who turns to me. Then to me is your return, and I will inform you of what you used to do. Luqman advised his son, O my son, even if it were the weight of a mustard seed in a rock or in the heavens or on earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring it to light. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is kind and expert. O my son, observe the prayer, advocate righteousness, forbid evil, and be patient over what has befallen you. These are of the most honorable traits. And do not treat people with arrogance, nor walk proudly on earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not love the arrogant show-offs. And moderate your stride, and lower your voice. The most repulsive of voices is the donkey's voice. Do you not see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed at your service everything in the heavens and the earth? How He showered you with His blessings both outward and inward. Yet among the people is he who argues about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without knowledge, without guidance, and without an enlightening scripture. And when it is said to them, follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed, they say, rather we follow what we found our parents devoted to, even if Satan is calling them to the suffering of the blaze. Whoever submits himself wholly to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and is a doer of good has grasped the most trustworthy handle. With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rests the outcome of all events. Whoever disbelieves, let not his disbelief sadden you. To us is their return. Then we will inform them of what they did. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what lies within the hearts. We give them a little comfort. Then we compel them to a harsh torment. And if you ask them who created the heavens and the earth, they will say, Allah. Say praise be to Allah. But most of them do not know. To Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala belongs everything in the heavens and the earth. Allah is the rich, the praised. If all the trees on earth were pens filled by the ocean, with 7 more oceans besides, the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not run out. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is majestic and wise. Your creation and your resurrection are only as a single soul. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is hearing and seeing. Have you not seen how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala merges the night into the day and merges the day into the night? That He subjected the sun and the moon, each running for a stated term, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is cognizant of everything you do. That is because Allah is the reality, and what they worship besides Him is falsehood, and because Allah is the exalted, the supreme. Have you not seen how the ships sail through the sea by the grace of Allah to show you of His wonders? And that are signs for every persevering, thankful person. When waves like canopies cover them, they call upon Allah, devoting their religion to Him. But when He has delivered them to dry land, some of them waver. No one renounces our revelations except the treacherous blasphemer. O people, be conscious of your Lord. and dread a day when no parent can avail his child, nor can a child avail his parent in anything. The promise of Allah is true. Therefore, do not let this life deceive you, nor let illusions deceive you regarding Allah. With Allah rests the knowledge of the hour. He sends down the rain, and He knows what the wombs contain. No soul knows what it will reap tomorrow, and no soul knows in what land it will die. Allah is all knowing, well informed. Surah Sajda. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alif Lam Mim. Tanzilul kitabi la rayba fihi min rabbil alamin. أم يقولون افتراه بل هو الحق من ربك لتنذر قوما ما أتاهم من نذير من قبلك لعلهم يهتدون الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وما بينهما في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش ما لكم من دونه من ولي ولا شفيع أفلا تتذكرون. Alif Lam Mim. The revelation of the book, without a doubt, is from the Lord of the universe. Yet they say, He made it up. In fact, it is the truth from your Lord, to warn a people who received no warner before you, that they may be guided. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is He who created the heavens and the earth and everything between them in 6 days, and then established Himself on the throne. Apart from Him, you have no master and no intercessor. Will you not reflect? He regulates all affairs from the heavens to the earth. Then it ascends to Him on a day, the length of which is 1,000 years by your count. That is the knower of the invisible and the visible, the powerful, the merciful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is He who perfected everything He created and originated the creation of man from clay, then made his reproduction from an extract of an insignificant fluid. Then He proportioned him and breathed into him of His Spirit. Then He gave you the hearing and the eyesight and the brain, but rarely do you give thanks. And they say, when we are lost into the earth, shall we be in a new creation? In fact, they deny the meeting with their Lord. Say, the angel of death put in charge of you will reclaim you. Then to your Lord you will be returned. If only you could see the guilty bowing their heads before their Lord. Our Lord, we have seen and we have heard. So send us back, and we will act righteously. We are not convinced. Had we willed, we could have given every soul its guidance. But the declaration from me will come true. I will fill hell with jinn and humans altogether. So taste, because you forgot the meeting of this day of yours. We have forgotten you. So taste the eternal torment for what you used to do. Those who believe in our communications, when reminded of them, fall down prostrate and glorify their Lord with praise, and are not proud. Their sides shun their beds as they pray to their Lord, out of reverence and hope, and from our provisions to them they give. No soul knows what eyes' delight awaits them, a reward for what they used to do. Is someone who is faithful like someone who is a sinner? They are not equal. As for those who believe and do righteous deeds, for them are the gardens of shelter, hospitality for what they used to do. But as for those who transgressed, their shelter is the fire. Every time they try to get out of it, they will be brought back into it. And it will be said to them, taste the suffering of the fire which you used to deny. We will make them taste the lesser torment prior to the greater torment, so that they may return. Who is more wrong than he, who, when reminded of his Lord's revelations, turns away from them? We will certainly wreak vengeance upon the criminals. We gave Musa the book, so do not be in doubt regarding his encounter, and we made it a guidance for the children of Israel. And we appointed leaders from among them, guiding by our command, as long as they persevered and were certain of our communications. Your Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection regarding everything they had disputed. Is it not a lesson for them how many generations we have destroyed before them, in whose habitations they walk? Surely in that are signs. Do they not hear? Do they not see how we conduct the water to a dry land, and with it we produce vegetation, from which their livestock eat, and themselves? Do they not see? And they say, when is this victory, if you are truthful? Say, on the day of victory, the faith of those who disbelieved will be of no avail to them, and they will not be granted respite. So turn away from them and wait. They too are waiting. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.